Hey guys, it's Marissa. I want to talk a little bit about self-worth and self-concept right now. And this is a little bit of a beginning experiment for me too, as I realized how much information I've been taking in this topics of consciousness, psychology, human design, spirituality, all these things that I'm taking in all this information and I'm gaining experience through what I'm learning, but I'm not outputting it with the world. And why is that? I feel content and I feel successful within myself, but I know it's also selfish to not share with the world the gifts that I have learned. And that goes the same for everybody. We are all important. We all have something to share. And that's where our greatest contribution will come from our truth. And we each have our own truth. And how we feel about ourselves is very much related to all of the conditioning that we've had in our life, what we identify with, um, and the parts of us that we haven't gone back to really heal or to look into them further. I was a late bloomer when it came to really understanding life in general. And here I am now at 36 years old, and I have this whole like philosophical kind of lens and like advising and coaching on self-worth and through healing through the body. And it is so important to heal through the body and not just do talk therapy because our body contains all of the cellular memory, our energetic field imprints, and everything that anybody has ever said to us. It goes right through into our mind, and we hold all of those thoughts and beliefs of other people, and we need to kind of put a filter on it. So when we hear stuff now, we can be conscious and aware of what we're hearing, if we agree, if we want that in our consciousness or not. So to have that filter on is absolutely crucial. But the body wisdom, so let me try to explain this so people can understand. So say you're an infant and your mom was the room, you don't know what's going on. You just have a bodily sensation, right? So that bodily sensation is going to be stored in your cellular memory. And it's probably a sensation of fear, but you don't have words for that. You don't know anything except for that sensation. So that sensation is stored. And that sensation, your mind is going to look out for that sensation for the rest of your life because it is now imprinted there that it was an important event and that it is going to, so it's going to scan for that kind of fear. And it's going to be a pattern that persists throughout your entire life. And it could make you fearful to go out and share yourself with the world. Yeah, I think I've had that experience. So once you've created internal safety, which is a whole other process of nervous system regulation and making sure your insides meet your outsides and that you're happy being in the world as yourself, interfacing with others in the world. So once you have that safety and that foundation, then you integrate with society. And that's the stage that I'm at right now. I did a lot of healing, spend time in my own energy. I used human design and gene keys, amazing, amazing tool. Um, I use it in my coaching. I use it all the time. It's great. If you want to know more about that, please leave me a message and we can chat. It's literally your soul's energetic blueprint. So we're a spirit, we're soul in form, right? We're incarnated, right? We're in the meat. So our spirit is animating our form. So it's like we have these two parts of us, our spirit and our body, and they both contain wisdom. And you could look at the spirit like the psyche. It's the mind, and they both integrate into who we are. So we can't change who we are and become happy from just the mind. We have to go back to the body and the wisdom of the body. The Body Keeps the Score. That's an amazing book by, I don't remember who it's by, but it's an amazing book. The Body Keeps the Score. It's about trauma and how trauma is stored in the body. And So, yeah, basically, anytime you didn't get to finish an impulse or an inspiration, or you were shut down or judged or criticized or anything like that, you're going to be holding that in your body, and you may just not realize it because people are working, they're running around doing all these things day to day, and they don't have time to sit and feel their body sensations. And our bodies are always trying to talk to us. And to be honest with you, it took me a while to actually get here. I remember a few years ago, I was getting my certification for Access Consciousness Bars practitioner, and Dane here, one of the founders of Access Consciousness, had a class about the body and how the body talks to you and all that. And I didn't actually get it. It took a while. I had a lot of trauma and dysregulation that I had to go through and allow. That's the key part, is you have to allow it. You can't you can't resist it. You just have to allow whatever's coming up to come up and be in acceptance of it. But we also have to look at it from a different mind, from a different frame than what we normally would view it from, if that makes sense. So our nervous system is like our gateway into our self-worth, into our money, into everything. It's about nervous system regulation and capacity, which is expansion. And it's like, how much can you hold? And you have to let go of things that no longer serve you, all these limiting beliefs, all these stories that people have said in the past that are just stuck there in your cellular memory. We have to clear that gunk out. And that's why tools like human design and gene keys, it's a cellular process. It works through the body, and it integrates the body and the mind, which is what needs to be done to create wholeness within a person. So the new paradigm, where we're moving to in our evolution, it's not about hustle culture anymore. It's not about keeping up with the Joneses. It's more about healing, expanding our nervous system capacity, and through that through that allowing of these processes, we become magnetic. It Once we do that, we can be with life, and creation can flow through us. We can co-create with it. We are we have this illusion of separateness, but we really are all one. We're all like glands on the earth, and we have to work together and come together to share ideas and create. So we have to regulate our way into who we want to be, right? So while I was doing all the healing and everything, I was, aspiring coach, right? But I wasn't fully embodying it. I wasn't putting out podcasts or things like that very much. And when people asked what I did, I would be shaky about it. But now I can fully embody and say that I'm a coach, I'm a guide, I'm a new thought leader. And you have to start somewhere. And it could be really bad. Like, this video is probably going to be very bad, but over time, through pivoting and refining, you get better and better at what you're doing. Another thing is, it's not all about prestige and the glitz and the glamour anymore. It's about authenticity. People want authenticity. People want someone they could resonate with, someone that they can connect with, someone that gets them. And yeah, definitely coming through a life of hardships, of mental health, addiction in the past, losing my father's daughter, who was the love of my life at the time. It just shattered my entire reality. And that's when I got into the mental health field and was working in the field. But there was a lot of things that I don't really agree with. You can't get into a new state of being from just the mind alone. So working with the body needs to feel safe and secure first and foremost. And most of us don't even realize that we don't feel safe or fully secure in ourselves, or why we feel resistant to sharing ourselves with the world. And we have to go through that process and we have to dig deep. And it's perfect right now for Scorpio season because Scorpio takes us to the underworld, the deep, dark places of our psyche that we'd rather not look at sometimes. But I've learned through everything I've been through to embrace the shadow and embrace those dark depths because you can only find the light once you've shined that light in the dark on those parts. Like, you can't just say, like, if you're going around saying I'm mad all the time, then you're identifying that your identity is mad, right? Like, but it's a part of me is mad. How about we look at it as start like that? A part of me is mad all the time. And then we can get curious about it. We have to be compassionate and we have to inquire and get curious and contemplate. And that's why I love human design and gene keys because it can give us those extra layers of information to dig to what's blocking us in all areas of our life. So we have to regulate so that we can feel safe to show up in the world and be who we are. So that's at the point that I'm at right now. I'm fully, my cup is full and I'm ready to expand and share myself and my experiences and tools with the world, my coaching, my guidance. And yeah, no more self-sabotage because what happens is we get scared when we try new things. All new stuff is scary because we've never done it before. It's new. So once we try it, we get to experiment with it. We get to see what we like, what we can do better, what we can refine. Um, but we'll never know if we don't try, right? So here I am, and I'm trying. And this is probably gonna be the worst video in the world, but I'm really going to try to make an effort to make a video at least once a day for the next 30 days to get used to it, to create new neural paths, to expand my nervous system's capacity for being seen and sharing parts of my life and my experience and tools with the world, and hopefully connect with others who have been through or are going through the same thing. And we can co create together and do something really great. That's what I'm manifesting at the moment. So I'm going to put it out there in the universe for my people to show up, my people on my fractal. So your self and self-image, right? I was super confused for a while. I was hiding, I was hermiting because I didn't know how to show up as myself, as the new person I was evolving into. Because I didn't really even know who that was yet. And it's still a process. It's always going to be a process. And that's why I say never, not to set, you could set goals. It's always fun to get to a goal. But like once you get to the goal, it's like, okay, I'm there. Now what? But if you set goals, but you also just embrace the journey because the journey is what it's all about. We're here on this earth plane and it's a school. It's not so serious. And we've been we've been under this patriarchy for so long now of telling us that we have to work a 9 to 5, we have to have a family and do all these things. And that whole system is crumbling. That whole way of being is crumbling, and we're moving into a more creative, spiritual, emotional awareness rather than so mind based. And that's what I can help a lot of people through right now. If you're feeling confusion in this new energy or background frequency of what you're feeling in the world, we're changing. We're going into changing times. Everything is evolving and changing, and we have to keep up. And if we don't put ourselves out there, we won't get what we want. So I also got to the point where I just have this fire inside me, and it's like I can't just like stay here and sit here waiting. It's actually in human design, my design Mercury is waiting as an active state, right? So you're doing something while you're waiting, and I'm projector, so I'm waiting for an invitation. So, I don't know when the invitation's going to come. I don't know what kind of invitation it would be. But it's all related, right? It's all related into self-worth and how this plays out. Also, I'm getting older. I'm not as, hot and sexy as I was when I was in my 20s and all that. And it's, mm, I had to integrate that and, be okay with that. We have to accept our limitations and then see what we can do with those limitations. And right now, I am in this perfect void space for manifestation, I feel. So I'm just doing what brings me joy and sharing on my highest excitement right now. Um, so self-worth, it's not something that you earn, right? It's not based off of other people's expectations of you. That is a not self narrative. Anything that people have pushed on you, said, oh, you need to be a doctor because your father was a doctor, blah, 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 blah. All these different ideologies, all these different religions, ways of being. Really check in with yourself and ask yourself, is this what I want? Does this bring me joy, or was this something that was conditioned on me from a young age? And it might take time for what you truly want to come up, and you might have no idea. And sometimes you have no idea because you haven't done it yet. And that's kind of what I'm feeling right now. Like, I'm pretty joyful talking, just sharing about my experience, and having this joyful feeling and hoping to connect with other like-minded people. So just follow your highest excitement with no expectations on the outcome. Like Bashar says, I don't know if any of you listen to Bashar, but follow your highest excitement with no insistence or expectations on the outcome. I love that. And it's something I live by now, even especially when it comes to relationships, because I was a very codependent partner. I've recently learned how to integrate that healthy and be a healthy partner and be whole onto myself, and my partner is whole onto himself. And it we don't we're together out of want, out of desire, out of frequency, a shared frequency and resonance, rather than a need to be with each other. Um, if that makes sense. So we're moving into this more frequency based alignment. So if your relationships are falling apart, people that you used to get along with, you're just not really feeling the vibe anymore. That's completely normal for this time, because it's not based off of, oh, well, we both play soccer, so this is why we hang out. We both like the Giants. It's more of it's a soul resonance, a soul frequency. Now, I think I went a little bit too off topic talking about self-worth, but it all plays into it. An intellectual self-worth is different than embodied self-worth. And embodiment is the hugest key right now to feel a sense of internal safety and internal worthiness, and not feeling like, oh, well, my parents didn't have anything, and so I have all this conditioning about not having anything or not being anything, and that I'll never be anything or be anyone special. Like, that all has to go. That's just society's conglomerate of society's expectations and beliefs and ideologies that have been thrown out and regurgitated a billion times, that have been imprinted into our energetic field and our cellular structure. And that's where the deep work comes in, where we really figure out, what do I want to filter out? What do I want to take in my consciousness? What kind of people do I want to be around? Um, all of those things. It's For me, it's very important. I have in human design the channel 1-8, the channel of the creative role model. And it's expression for expression's sake. And if anything, I'm learning from this, it's that. I'm going to express for expression's sake, and that's what I'm here to do. And if I gain followers or not, it doesn't matter. I'm expressing for expression's sake. I'm hoping to meet like-minded people and people on my frequency. Absolutely. But it's not going to change my feeling of worthiness or anything like that. Like, I see so many people afraid to show up because they're afraid of what people are going to say in the comments. You need to get to a place where you don't care. And those comments are challenges, right? Like you can look at them and there could be rude comments and you could just say, okay, that's extremely rude. Like I don't resonate to that. So just whatever. Or there can be something that's really important that you didn't notice about yourself. Or yeah, I like the challenge. I like when people can constructively criticize me in a kind way, and I like to do that the same. Um, because it's for growth, it's for empowerment, and um, yeah, we just have to open our minds to a higher perspective as we do this internal healing work of the body and the nervous system. And the nervous system is dysregulated when we're not in our power, when we're not claiming our power, when we're in a scarcity mindset, when we're scattered, when yeah, it's so that's where we have to come back to our center and our internal sense of safety with the realization that we are all a once in a lifetime cosmic event. We are all worthy. We all have a voice and we should all use it for good, of course. And you know, if you stop chasing, your energy becomes magnetic. So self-worth, it's about coherence. It's not about any kind of external validation. It has to come from inside. When you feel content with yourself, like, think about what if your partner just said some really not nice things to you or left you or, you know, criticized you in a way that was very demeaning to your character or your business or what you're working on or whatever. Now, would you take that information and take it to heart and get defensive and reactive, or would you let it go and say, well, I know that I don't care what his opinion is. This is what I love. This is what I'm doing. Or if there's any little good little constructive criticism gems in there that you could take and refine your practice. It's all how you look at it. We're all here for growth and empowerment and to be our true selves because that's how we will make the greatest contribution, not by putting on a mask and going to work 40 hours a week and burning ourselves out and becoming sick. Who are we going to take care of then? You know what I mean? Like, after working 40 hours a week for so long, especially as a projector in human design, I was burnt out. I was so sick. My cup was empty. And now I'm fully, for the first time, at a place where I can be of service from a fully full cup without any external validation. I don't care what my partner would have to say to me about this video or whatever. He will probably criticize the crap out of it. But I don't care. You know what I mean? I'm just being me, my authentic self, and I trust in the alignment of that. I will definitely talk about some more topics related to somatic healing, parts work, human design, leadership, what it means to be a leader of self. Um, and yeah, just gonna keep on sharing my story, keep expressing for expression's sake, and hopefully it helps someone along the way. I do have a lot of experience in not only working with people with mental health, addiction, trauma, and grief, but like I said, myself having gone through it and just having experienced a wide spectrum of experiences that could be considered adverse experiences and coming out the other side stronger every time. And it's amazing. It's amazing every time because you feel like, especially for a projector or if you're a generator, satisfaction or, whatever, but it's like, yes, 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 I did it. I did it. And a lot of these things are internal. Like you don't always see it on the outside. at first. It takes a while for these things to actually manifest on the outside. So the internal validation is crucial. And of course, if you've been through a lot of stuff, we you got to start really slow, take your time. Don't go into this work too deep, too fast. Take your time with it to where you feel safe and comfortable. And and you'll get there, and just keep celebrating every step of the way. All right, guys. Love you all.